Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are turning down the volume
Ooh, I like
on the
that.
Symphony of City Life
Okay.
with some expert insights on soundproofing in urban India.
That's a great topic.
And our guide for this deep dive is Shivendra Singh's blog, Door Window Basics.
I've heard of him.
Have you read this one?
I have, yeah. He
Oh, you have? Okay,
seems
great.
to be really passionate about it.
He really is, and he has 18 years of experience working with doors and windows, so he
Mm.
definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience.
So think of us as like your shortcut
Okay.
to his expertise, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're battling the constant noise of like sirens,
Oh, yeah.
honking construction, all that good stuff in cities like Delhi.
You know what? It's funny.
Yeah,
I feel like we really underestimate the impact of constant noise.
right.
Like we think, oh, it's just annoying.
Yeah, it's part of city life.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
But Singh actually calls noise pollution a modern man-made disease.
Wow.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It messes with our sleep, our focus,
Uh-huh.
even our long-term health.
Really? Like
Yeah.
physically?
Yeah, there's actual research on this.
Oh, wow.
It's not just him saying it.
Okay, so it's not just about being annoyed, it's like an actual health hazard.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes you wonder, like,
Huh.
is peace and quiet even possible in a place like Delhi,
Right.
which is known for being so noisy and chaotic?
Exactly. It seems impossible.
But Singh points to a case study in Sarvapriya Vihar,
Okay.
where they were able to bring noise levels down to below 40 decibels,
Wow.
which is like the international standard for a peaceful living room.
I didn't even know there was a standard for that.
Apparently there is. So it is possible.
Okay, so there's hope.
There's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did they do it?
Yeah, what's the secret?
Well, according to Singh, soundproof windows and doors are like the key players here.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and he's all about data and testing,
Oh, that's good.
which I appreciate. He even has this saying.
What is it?
He says, if you cannot measure something, frankly speaking, it does not exist.
I like that.
Right?
So you can't just say, oh, this is soundproof.
Right.
You have to actually prove it.
Exactly. And that makes you realize how much marketing hype there is
Oh, yeah, for sure.
around soundproofing without any real proof.
It's all about those numbers.
Right. So how do we actually measure noise?
Yeah, good question.
What are we aiming for, and how do we know if a product is actually doing its job?
Right.
I see those decibel meters online. Did I use one of those?
Yeah, definitely. Those meters are a great starting point
Okay.
to understand your baseline noise level,
Okay.
so you know what you're dealing with.
So I can see how loud my apartment actually is.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you can aim for that sub 40 decibel range in your living spaces.
Okay. So under 40.
Yeah, that's the ideal for like a peaceful living room.
Got it.
And when you're looking at products,
Yeah.
make sure they have testing data to back up their claims.
Okay. So don't just go by like brand names or
Yeah.
fancy marketing terms.
Those can be misleading.
Okay. So what are the nuts and bolts of a truly soundproof window, according to Singh?
So he emphasizes three crucial elements.
Okay. I'm ready.
First, airtight seals are absolutely essential.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like sealing a submarine.
Mm-hmm.
Any tiny gap or leak will let that noise pour right in.
Okay. So it's like building a fortress against sound.
Exactly.
Okay. What's number two?
Second, the window frame itself needs to be designed to block sound.
Okay.
The material it's made of and how it's constructed play a big role here.
Okay. And finally.
Number three, double glazed laminated glass.
Okay.
And it's not just about having two panes of glass.
Mm-hmm.
The magic is in the lamination layer between them.
Okay.
That's what really dampens the sound vibrations.
Oh, so it's like a noise-absorbing sandwich.
Yeah.
For your windows.
Exactly.
Got it.
And Singh gets very specific about which materials and designs actually work best. He's actually quite critical of some big brands,
Oh, really?
like Finesta and Toastum, for making misleading claims about their soundproofing.
Okay, he's not holding back.
Nope.
What kind of claims are we talking about? What doesn't work?
For instance, he points out that Finesta uses silicone sealant for noise insulation,
Okay.
but silicone is really meant for water tightness, not stopping sound.
Oh, interesting.
And then with Toastum,
Yeah.
he critiques their single-point locking sliders.
Okay, I thought sliding doors were supposed to be good for soundproofing.
Well, they can be,
Okay.
but Singh argues that those single-point locking systems
Yeah.
compromise both security and soundproofing.
Really?
Yeah, they just don't create that super tight seal you need.
Oh,
Multi-point locking systems are much better in that regard.
got it.
Yeah.
So even within the world of soundproof windows and doors, there are good options. and not so good options.
Exactly.
So it seems like you really need to know what to look for.
You do your research.
Yeah. But hold on, we're making it sound like picking the right product is the end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
What about installation?
Oh, that's huge.
Surely that has to play a role, right?
Oh, absolutely. Singh is a huge advocate for proper installation.
Okay.
He's seen firsthand how even the best windows can be rendered useless
Right.
by shoddy workmanship.
Yeah, that makes me think of those like horror stories you hear about contractors cutting corners
Oh, yeah, all the time.
to save time and money.
Yeah. Does he give any specific examples?
He does. He talks about installers removing those brush seals on sliding doors
Okay.
just to make them open and close more smoothly.
Right.
It seems like a minor thing.
Yeah.
But those seals actually contribute to soundproofing.
Also, removing them completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
So even seemingly minor details can make a big difference.
Yeah, it highlights the importance of finding installers who really understand soundproofing,
Yes.
not just like how to slap a window in place.
Not just the basics. Yeah.
Exactly. Singh stresses that airtight seals are non-negotiable.
Okay.
And using the right materials, like PU foam, is essential for a successful installation.
Got it. I'm starting to realize that soundproofing is way more nuanced
Yeah.
than I initially thought.
It's a whole science.
Yeah. So we've talked about the importance of measuring noise, the key elements of good windows and doors,
Right.
and the crucial role of installation.
Yes.
So what about Singh's preferred solutions?
Okay.
What does he recommend for people who are serious about getting that peace and quiet?
One solution he's really excited about is lift and slide doors with gasket sealing systems.
Oh.
He claims these offer superior airtightness compared to traditional sliders. And the gaskets create that impenetrable seal we talked about.
Okay, so what makes these lift and slide doors so special?
Yeah.
And what are gaskets exactly? I need a visual here.
Okay, so imagine this. Instead of just sliding on a track,
Uh-huh.
these doors lift slightly when you open them,
Okay.
disengaging the gaskets.
And then settle back down when closed, creating a super tight seal.
Oh, so it's like a double layer of protection against noise.
Yeah.
The gaskets themselves and the way the door mechanism works.
Exactly, you got it.
Okay, cool.
He actually compares the airtightness of these systems to a casement window,
Okay.
which is known for its superior sealing capabilities.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if someone's really serious about soundproofing and wants top-of-the-line performance, lift and slide doors with gasket sealing systems are the way to go.
They're definitely worth considering,
Okay.
especially if budget allows.
Right.
He does mention specific brands he's worked with,
Okay.
like Sobinco Belgium and their Slim Lift and Slide product,
Okay.
which is a good example of this technology.
It seems like a recurring theme with Aroma Singh is this like attention to detail. It's
Yes.
not just about choosing a product category.
All right.
It's about understanding the specifics of how it's built
Yes.
and how that impacts its performance.
It's all connected.
Now I'm curious. We've been talking a lot about uPVC and aluminum windows.
Yeah.
Does he ever mention any other materials?
Actually, yes. This is where things get a little unexpected.
Oh, I love unexpected.
He's recently been working with steel,
Steel.
which might seem counterintuitive for soundproofing.
Hold on, steel, isn't that more of an industrial look? And
Yeah.
wouldn't it be heavier
Mm-hmm.
and more expensive?
Yeah, it can be.
I'm intrigued, but also skeptical.
Yeah, I understand.
Tell me more about this steel revelation.
Join us in part 2,
Okay.
where we'll dive deeper into the world of steel windows and doors
Okay.
and explore why Singh thinks they might just be the unexpected heroes of soundproofing.
All right, I'm ready for it. Welcome back to our deep dive into soundproofing. I have to admit, I'm still processing this whole steel windows and doors concept.
Yeah, it does seem counterintuitive,
It seems like it would be the opposite of soundproof.
right? Like a big echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. But remember Singh's mantra, if you cannot measure something, frankly speaking, it does not exist.
Right, so let's get into the data.
Okay, let's hear it.
So what's fascinating about steel is that it's incredibly strong and dense,
Okay.
which actually makes it very effective at blocking sound waves.
So even though it might seem like a solid chunk of metal would vibrate
Mm-hmm.
and transmit sound,
Yeah,
it actually does the opposite.
it does. The density of steel actually helps to dampen vibrations.
Oh, interesting.
So it prevents those sound waves from traveling through.
Okay.
Plus, steel allows for thinner frames
Okay.
and larger glass panes, which means less material for sound to pass through.
So it's like less surface area
Exactly.
for the sound to like grab onto.
You got it.
Okay. That makes sense from a scientific perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't those thinner frames compromise the structural integrity?
That's a good question.
of the window or door?
That's where the strength of steel comes in.
Okay.
It can handle much larger spans and heavier loads compared to uPVC or aluminum. So you can have those sleek, minimalist frames
Yeah.
without sacrificing strength.
So you get the best of both worlds.
You do.
Less frame to obstruct the view and superior soundproofing.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah.
But what about the practical aspects?
Mhm.
Isn't steel more expensive than other materials?
It's true that steel windows and doors typically come with a higher price tag up front.
Okay.
However,
So?
Singh argues that the long-term benefits outweigh the initial cost.
Okay. How so?
Well, steel is incredibly durable and resistant to wear and tear,
Mm-hmm.
so you won't have to worry about replacing them as frequently.
That's a good point. It's like the saying,
What is it?
buy nice or buy twice.
Right.
You might pay more initially,
Yeah,
but you'll save money in the long run.
exactly.
Okay, but what about aesthetics? Steel windows have a very distinct, almost industrial look.
Right.
Does that fit into every home design?
Singh actually sees the aesthetics of steel as a major advantage.
Oh.
It adds a touch of modern elegance
Okay.
and sophistication that
Yeah.
you can't quite get with other materials.
Okay.
And with advancements in finishing techniques,
Mm.
you can customize the color and texture
Okay.
to complement any design style.
So it's not just about functionality, it's about making a statement with your windows and doors.
Can be a focal point,
Okay.
enhancing the overall design of your space.
Now, I'm imagining these sleek black steel windows in a loft apartment
Oh, yeah.
with exposed brick walls and high ceilings.
I can see it.
Okay, maybe I'm getting a little carried away here,
It's a good look.
but I do see the potential.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a moment.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the technical aspects of soundproofing,
Yeah.
but what about the human element?
That's important too.
Does Singh address the role of the installer in all of this?
He does.
Okay.
In fact, he's quite critical
Oh.
of what he calls the ignorance on the part of customers and how some installers take advantage of that.
What does he mean by that?
He points out that many customers simply don't know what to look for when it comes to soundproofing.
Yeah.
They might trust a big brand name
Right.
or rely on the installer's word
Yeah.
without really understanding the technical details.
So it's a combination of lack of awareness on the part of the customer
Yes.
and potentially some shady practices
Yeah.
by installers who might cut corners or overpromise.
Exactly.
Wow. So we really need to be informed consumers here.
We do.
And Singh stresses that it's our responsibility as homeowners
Yeah.
to educate ourselves and ask the right questions.
Don't just blindly trust
Right.
that the installer has our best interests at heart.
He gives the example of installers removing brush seals on sliding doors
Yeah.
to make them operate more smoothly.
Right.
In the short term, the customer is happy
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is great.
because the door glides effortlessly.
Yeah. So smooth.
But in the long run, they've compromised the soundproofing.
Exactly. You're back to square one.
It's a good reminder that quick fixes often come with hidden costs.
They do.
And in this case, that cost is your peace and quiet.
Exactly.
So how can we avoid falling into that trap? How do we find installers who are truly knowledgeable and trustworthy?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Singh doesn't offer specific recommendations,
Okay.
but he emphasizes the importance of finding installers who are willing to take the time
Correct.
to explain things clearly,
Yeah.
answer your questions thoroughly, and not rush the process.
They don't make you feel pressured.
Exactly.
Okay.
He also suggests getting multiple quotes
Okay.
and comparing not just the price, but also the installer's approach and their understanding of soundproofing principles.
So it's about doing your research,
Yeah,
asking the right questions, and trusting your gut instinct.
exactly.
If something feels off,
Trust your gut.
it probably is.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be a bit assertive and advocate for your needs.
It's your home, your investment, and your peace of mind at stake.
Now, beyond the importance of finding a reputable installer,
Yeah.
does Singh have any other advice
He does.
for homeowners who are embarking on this soundproofing journey?
Yes. He emphasizes a crucial point that often gets overlooked.
What's that?
It's not enough to just focus on windows and doors.
Okay.
You need to address the entire sound path.
What does he mean by the entire sound path?
Think of sound waves like water.
Okay.
They'll find the path of least resistance.
Okay.
Even if you have top-of-the-line soundproof windows, if your walls are thin and poorly insulated,
Right.
the noise will simply find another way in.
So it's like a holistic approach to soundproofing.
Yes.
It's not just about isolating one element,
Right.
but about creating a comprehensive sound barrier
Yes.
around your entire living space.
Exactly.
And that might involve adding insulation to walls, sealing gaps around electrical outlets,
Yes.
using acoustic sealant around door and window frames,
Yep.
or even incorporating acoustic panels to absorb sound.
There's so many options.
It sounds like a bit of detective work is needed
Yeah,
to figure out the best approach for each individual space.
it does.
Where do you even begin with all of that?
Singh's blog goes into detail about each of these elements.
Okay.
But the key takeaway is to be thorough and systematic in your approach.
Okay.
Don't just focus on the obvious entry points.
This is making me realize how much I've been underestimating the complexity of
Yeah.
soundproofing.
It's more than just buying new windows.
Yeah, I've always thought of it as a simple fix, like just replacing windows.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
It's a whole system.
Yeah, it's about understanding the science of sound,
Yes.
the properties of materials, the importance of meticulous installation,
Right.
and the need for a comprehensive approach.
It all comes together.
And that's what makes Singh's insights so valuable.
He's a good resource.
Yeah, he takes this seemingly simple concept
Yeah.
and breaks it down into its intricate components,
Mm-hmm.
empowering homeowners to make informed decisions
Yes.
and achieve their desired results.
That's the goal.
So it's not just about buying the most expensive windows
Right.
or hiring the first installer you find.
Do your research.
It's about being informed,
Yeah.
being strategic, and being proactive
You got it.
in creating the sound environment you want in your home.
It's worth the effort.
Exactly. And that's a journey worth taking.
It is.
Join us in part 3, where we'll explore some practical tips
Okay.
and strategies for implementing Singh's insights in your own home.
Sounds good.
From simple DIY fixes to more involved renovations.
I'm ready.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent the last 2 parts getting into all the details of soundproofing with Shivendra Singh's expert insight.
Yeah, it's been a deep dive for sure.
It really has. But I'm ready to move from theory to practice.
Okay. Yeah.
What are some things our listeners can actually do?
Right. Like actionable steps.
Yeah, to transform their noisy urban dwellings into oases of peace.
I like that.
So Singh suggests starting with something simple but powerful,
Okay.
becoming aware of your own soundscape.
Our soundscape.
Yeah, like walk through your home
Hey.
at different times of day
Okay.
and really tune in to the sounds around you.
So really listen.
Yeah, what are the primary sources of noise?
Go.
When are they most bothersome?
So almost like a noise audit.
Yeah,
Taking inventory of the sounds that are invading your space.
precisely. And it helps you pinpoint the areas
Okay.
where soundproofing efforts will have the most impact.
So prioritize.
Exactly. Like, for example, if traffic noise is keeping you up at night,
Yeah.
the bedroom becomes a priority.
Makes sense.
Or if you work from home and struggle to focus with all the street sounds,
Mm-hmm.
soundproofing your home office might be the first step.
Right. So focus on where it matters most.
Exactly. But even within a single room,
Yeah.
there are so many potential entry points for sound.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where do you even begin?
Well, Singh reminds us that sound waves are like water.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
They will always find the path of least resistance.
Okay.
So even if you have those fantastic soundproof windows,
Yeah.
if your walls are thin
Right.
or there are gaps around electrical outlets, noise will seep through.
So it's really about a multi-pronged approach,
It is.
looking beyond just the windows and doors.
Absolutely. And there are some simple DIY fixes
Okay. Tell me more.
that can make a surprisingly big difference.
Really? Like what?
Singh suggests using acoustic sealant
Okay.
to fill gaps around electrical outlets and pipes,
Okay.
adding weather, stripping around doors to create a tighter seal,
Mm.
and even hanging thick curtains to absorb sound.
I've definitely been guilty of overlooking those little things.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about them.
Yeah, it's easy to fixate on the big things like windows.
Right.
But those little cracks and gaps can add up
They do. It's all about the details.
to a lot of noise.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about something a little more heavy duty?
Okay, so for those who are willing to invest a bit more,
Yeah.
adding a layer of mass-loaded vinyl to walls
Okay.
can significantly reduce noise transmission.
Mass-loaded vinyl, that sounds serious.
It is.
What is
It's a thin, dense material
Okay.
that's specifically designed to block sound waves.
Is that something a homeowner can tackle themselves?
It can be tricky to install.
Okay.
So if you're not comfortable with DIY projects,
Yeah.
it's best to hire a professional.
Okay, so let's talk about windows and doors.
Okay.
If someone is considering replacing them
Yeah.
for better soundproofing, what are the key things to look for?
First and foremost, prioritize airtightness.
Okay.
Look for windows with multiple locking points and high-quality gaskets that create that impenetrable seal.
Yeah, like we talked about.
Remember, any gaps will compromise the soundproofing,
Right.
no matter how good the glass itself is.
So it's all about creating that fortress against sound.
Exactly.
What about the type of glass?
So double-glazed laminated glass is definitely the standard for good soundproofing.
Okay.
The laminated layer between the panes helps to dampen those vibrations and prevent sound from passing through.
So if you live in a particularly noisy area, you might even consider triple glazing.
You could.
For like extra protection.
An extra layer,
And speaking of installation, we can't forget Singh's emphasis on finding installers who really get it.
Right, who understand soundproofing.
And won't compromise quality for speed.
Absolute. Proper installation is crucial.
Yeah, so take the time to find reputable installers who are willing to answer your questions, explain the process clearly, and show you examples of their work.
Good idea.
Don't hesitate to ask for references. And check online reviews.
It's your home. And your peace of mind on the line.
So beyond the structural elements like windows and doors, are there any other tips Singh offers?
He does.
For creating a more sound-absorbing environment?
He suggests incorporating soft furnishings into your decor.
Okay.
To help absorb sound.
Like what?
Think thick rugs.
Okay.
Plush curtains, upholstered furniture.
Oh, okay.
These elements can actually make a noticeable difference.
Really?
In reducing echo and muffling noise.
So it's not just about blocking sound from entering your home. It's also about minimizing the noise that's already inside.
Exactly. Creating a more sound-absorbent environment can significantly enhance your sense of peace and tranquility.
And here's a bonus tip from Singh that I love.
Okay, what's that?
Houseplants.
Oh, yeah.
They act as natural sound absorbers.
I didn't know that.
And they bring a touch of life and greenery into your space.
That's great.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From debunking myths to exploring innovative solutions. As we wrap up, what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think Singh's insights remind us that creating a peaceful living environment is achievable even in the midst of all the urban chaos. It requires a shift in perspective.
Okay.
Instead of feeling helpless against noise, we can empower ourselves with knowledge.
Right.
Make conscious choices and take action to shape our soundscapes.
It's a reminder that peace and quiet are not luxuries. They're essential for our well-being.
Absolutely.
And achieving them is not necessarily about grand, expensive renovation.
Right.
It can start with small, strategic changes.
Like what?
Like adding weather stripping to a door.
Okay.
Or being more mindful of the sounds in our surroundings.
Yeah, just start small.
Exactly. Start with one small change and then another.
I like that.
Over time, those seemingly insignificant adjustments can add up to a profound difference in your quality of life.
Couldn't agree more.
So as we leave our listeners to contemplate their own soundproofing journeys, we encourage them to check out Shivendra Singh's blog, Door Window Basics.
Yes, great resource.
For more in-depth information and practical tips.
He really knows his stuff.
He's a wealth of knowledge in this field.
For sure. And remember, peace and quiet are within reach.
They are.
Until next time, happy soundproofing.
Happy soundproofing, everyone.